A person should be free to say what they like. Oh boy, Samson is back, and we know this guy does not hold back when it comes to upsetting the system, and we love him for it. This one is called Tipping Point. But who's at the end of this? Let's find out. Come on, Samson. Take him down. No, he's going to go in on somebody. Wow, sounds jazzy.
Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk and bless his family. Right. I know the devil's hard at work. I can't even fathom all the grief and pain that y'all have went through. My thoughts are nearly impossible to explain, but I'll attempt to.
Okay. So straight off the bat, we are talking about the incident where was it in Ohio? Was it where Charlie Kirk got assassinated by whoever? I mean, I don't follow politics, don't follow the story. I know what happened, but I don't know the ins and outs of why. I only knew about Charlie Kirk after he'd been shot, sort of thing. So I've never watched any of his videos. I believe he stood up for what he believed in, and a lot of people liked what he had to say, apparently. So a lot of people have been let's just say triggered by this assassination, because a lot of people thought a lot of him. I say I don't know. I don't do politics, so I'm not really well savvy in that area.
Written like 5 intros, so many wasted paragraphs and revised pen strokes. There's just so many things I want to say, and I don't want to say I'm wrong. I don't know how many times I almost threw away this song.
Okay.
But I feel an obligation. I have a platform and people want my observation.
Yes.
This one is complicated. I go back and forth on it. The facts are distorted so much I'm half and half. I'm torn on it, trying to grasp the scope of this, and so I'm asking if there's more to it. Reading way too much and end up actually just warping it. Too many voices echoing, reporting everything. How you supposed to comb through all these different passages and sort it?
That's facts. That's facts. Whenever there's scandal, whenever there's something big happened, not everybody tells the truth. A lot of people bend the narrative that way or bend the narrative that way to suit theirs. Do you know what I mean? And he's saying, I want to make sure. Basically, Samson wants to make this song as accurate as he can, which is why he said, I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to do the wrong part on this bit or the wrong part on that bit. I don't want to offend this person and that person. I nearly threw this song away. Do you know what I mean? Because he would nearly this is maybe getting on top of me because I'm not getting a straight answer from any side, sort of thing.
So much information out there, it can make you feel like you don't know what's fake or real.
Facts.
Way too many Facebook reels. Shit, it's almost like it's done on purpose just to make us chase our tails. I wish someone would wake me up and offer me those Matrix pills so I can see through all the...
So he's not in the reality. He wants those Matrix pills to take him away from this shit world, right? Because obviously in the film, ignorance is bliss. And I think, what's his name? Was it Cypher or someone like that? He wanted to kill everybody, didn't he? And then plug himself into the Matrix, and then that's his life. Do you know what I mean? That's how the film was being portrayed, and this is what he's saying. He wants one of those pills to take him away from this bullshit in life. Go on, Samson.
Our tails, I wish someone would wake me up and offer me those Matrix pills.
Yes.
So I could see through all the tints in the facade. But I can't, so I feel like I should give this up to God. Cause it's a lot, and I could use some guidance, cause I'm struggling. I got 2 different sides that are inside of me just tugging.
Right.
My heart tells me, fuck these nasty individuals. So despicable, fucking trash, I bet they're miserable. Couldn't last in a debate, so they had to get physical. Got smashed verbally, so they resorted back to trigger pulls. All they did was talk.
Ooh. Someone with the freedom of speech, and so the other side didn't like it, so they got the trigger pulls of shooting him and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't care who you are, what you stand up for, as long as it's not obviously like someone being racist or something or what have you. Like, if you believe what you say and you're not actually doing anything to anybody, then why are people getting assassinated for that? Do you know what I mean? It is ridiculous. I mean, just because someone believes something that you don't doesn't give you the right to go and take things into your own hands and end someone's life, if you like. You know what I mean? And that's what he's saying here, Samson.
So despicable, fucking trash, I bet they're miserable. Couldn't last in a debate, so they had to get physical.
Exactly.
Got smashed verbally, so they...
Oh, that's right. Yes, right. Isn't the guy... I remember this now. Somebody said something about it. It's a few weeks ago now, isn't it? Somebody said that this guy who actually assassinated Charlie was in a debate with him, like on the microphone, wasn't he? And people's viewers lost that debate. And is that why he was butthurt and came back and did what he did? Is that what I'm... Because like I say, I'm not read into it because, like I say, I don't do politics, I do music. So
resorted back to trigger pulls. All he did was talk.
I'm picking up
He
what
debated,
I can.
that was all. Never held a position in office or made any laws. He created an organization to display his faith. He sat right in front of your face and had conversations with y'all.
Yeah.
He spoke. You never suspended your rights. Never signed a single fucking bill that affected your life.
There you go. He's not a politician. This Charlie guy was not a politician. He never influenced you in a way that was oppressing anybody. All he did was give his opinion, a guy speaking for what he believed in, right? That's not me going into politics, so that's me going into humanity. A person should be free to say what they like, as long as they're not oppressing anybody else. And when I say oppressing someone else, not someone who doesn't agree with you. Like I say, racism, sexism, that sort of thing, that's unacceptable. But for someone to talk about what they believe should be right, and for a community of people, that's different. You know what I mean?
Exactly did he do that directly impacted you instead of saying a couple of sentences that you disliked? Y'all took a couple quotes out of their context and flipped it, cut out the important parts and conveniently left them missing. And
like I said earlier, the narrative, taking out what should have been left in to suit your narrative. This happens in the media and everything. This is nothing new. But what he's saying here, Samson, is obviously this guy who's got butthurt over losing a bit of a conversation with Charlie has took it personal, bang, and shot this guy. And then all the other people are bending the narratives to say, like, some are saying he deserves it. Some are saying, oh, poor Charlie. Do you know what I mean? And that's always been the problem. Left and right, people always arguing about certain things. And it's like, do you know what? Why can't everyone just fucking get along, man?
even then it still didn't sound that aggressive shit. If you thought that was radical, then we got different definitions.
Facts.
And you go and compare him to George Floyd, cause he was a father too. Fucking oh boy, what a wild thing to say. I don't gotta even explain, it's two way different things. This shit is not even the same. You can't.
Yeah, because George Floyd was, let's just say he was brutalized by some white cops, and then there was a whole racism thing going on. And we had songs, we had things coming out all over the thing, like I Can't Breathe and all that, you know what I mean? And the Black Lives Matter and everything, you know what I mean? And like, people comparing it to that, it's two massively different scenarios. That's what obviously Samson's giving us there.
Don't gotta even explain, it's two way different things. This shit
Facts.
is not even the same. You can't trust someone that you don't personally know. So
Facts.
I could never say for sure that Charlie Kirk would be my bro. But if I were to go off of reputation alone, I would never fucking let George Floyd into my home. And it's got nothing to do with his race or his skin complexion. Nah, it's more to do with his lengthy criminal record. Yeah.
There you go. And that's it. This is what he's pushing here, Samson. He's saying he wouldn't let George Floyd into his home, and it's nothing to do with what he looks like or his colour, his creed, whatever. It's his criminal record. Because I know, because obviously we did a few songs when I first started doing YouTube, DOA being one of them and stuff like that by I Prevail, talking about George Floyd, and everyone was saying like, oh, it's because he's black and the white cops have killed him. And then it came out later on that he was like a criminal. He was like he used to burgle homes and like steal and whatever off people. And I can't remember the exact ins and outs, but people failed to put that in. Because basically the police probably arrested him for that. You know what I mean? And you never know what went down properly. Do you know what I mean? I'm not condoning it. You know, everyone's got the right to live. And George Floyd should be in prison. Maybe the police's handling of him was far too brutal. Maybe. You know, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But what Samson's saying here, obviously, is this narrative that people are comparing George Floyd because he's black and Charlie Kirk because he's white is ridiculous, because they're two different situations for two different reasons. And Samson's even saying, like, he wouldn't let him in his house just for the simple fact of his criminal record, not because of who he is or what he looks like. But Charlie Kirk, he says, again, leveling the playing field, I wouldn't necessarily be his friend. You don't know that because you don't know him. You know what I mean? All you can do is take him on face value on the videos on the internet.
alone.
That's
I
fair.
would never
That's
fucking
fair.
let George Floyd into my home, and it's got nothing to do with his race or his skin complexion.
Facts.
Nah, it's more to do with his lengthy criminal record. Yeah, it's more because the drug possessions and the robberies and home invasions I would
There you
trust
go.
him less around my property. We shouldn't make a mockery of him. I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Just because he was a criminal, we shouldn't pile on that. I
Yes.
won't say I'm glad that he's dead or claim he deserved it, but don't act like for 1 second that this was the same person.
Facts.
Check out the reactions to their deaths, quite the opposite. Look what y'all did, and look at our response to it. Instead of riots in the streets, we prayed quietly in peace. We never let our emotions go, we tied them to a leash.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Now we're touching on everything that happened in the backlash of George Floyd, aren't we? Saying that we wouldn't have done that. Maybe, I don't know what side Samson's on here. But, like, basically saying we'd grieve for these guys peacefully and in our own homes or wherever we go, where you got other people smashing shit up and rioting and setting things on fire. And, you know, I get it. Without going into it too far.
We prayed quietly in peace. We never let our emotions go. We tied them to a leash. We never flipped and flew off the handle and got shitty.
There's a way of presenting yourself. That's what he's saying here, isn't there? And then smashing things up and setting things on fire is not the way to do it.
Emotions go, we tied them to a leash. We never flipped and flew off the handle and got shitty, and left the town crawling with vandals and cops spitting. Shit was gritty. What we saw on the channels was not pretty.
Yeah.
The only thing we burned was candles, not cities. So
Oh, that was a bar, man. That was a proper bar. The only thing we burned was candles, peace, celebrate the life, blah, blah, blah. Not cities, where obviously, yeah, businesses and everything got burned, didn't they?
Candles was not pretty.
Wow.
The only thing we burned was candles, not cities.
Yeah.
So get the fuck out of my face with all these comparisons. Y'all are embarrassing. We can't even call you Americans. You follow a narrative, such a typical situation. The minute something changes, these liberals switch their places. There's something wrong with you if you celebrated his death. You say the right is full of spite, but there's hella hate on the left. It's weird. It's almost like
There's hate on both sides. From what I've experienced, I'm neither left nor right or anything like that. I am a person who takes everyone I speak to at face value. Do you know what I mean? I don't judge this or judge that, or I'm anti this or pro that. I am a person living my fucking life. That's the way I look at it. But basically, he's saying here, a lot of people are probably giving him a load of shit from the left, and he's saying, obviously, there's a lot of hate on that side, and you're calling us for it, sort of thing. Wow.
celebrated his death. You say the right is full of spite, but there's hella hate on the left. It's weird, it's almost like this shit melted away your stress. I never saw somebody die and then felt elated or blessed, but it makes sense. Your party's been stirring the shit.
Wow, basically saying that people are lauding over people getting killed because they wasn't part of their regime. Yeah, I get that.
He died and then felt elated or blessed, but it makes sense. Your party's been stirring the shit. There's countless videos of politicians encouraging this. See, they rile up their base until they pile up their hatred. And now look, all of a sudden gun violence is their favorite. The minute Jimmy Kimmel got pulled from the air at night, the First Amendment became the left's most sacred, cherished right. Now no one should be punished for their words. It's so important. You're right. Imagine being murdered for it. You know, I feel like my music
that was a shot at people from the left, wasn't it? People should have the right to speak, and then basically they go and do that and murder someone from the other side. Hypocrisy at its best, really, that, isn't it? That's what Samson's pointed out, not my view, before anyone comes at me.
You're right. Imagine being murdered for it.
Although I don't condone anyone getting fucking murdered for speaking what they believe. But by the way, I just realised how that sounded.
Should be punished for their words. It's so important. You're right. Imagine being murdered for it.
Oh,
you
that's
know,
a shot
I
back,
feel
innit?
like my music has been pretty moderate. I never lean too hard in one direction or the opposite. Yeah, it's obvious that I'm conservative, but watch my shit. I think I do a pretty good job at keeping my common sense.
Yes.
Lately, I've been giving less of a fuck. I got a headache. I'm so fed up with the left and their stunts. From the messages they pump, a bunch of pedos peddling junk. I used to separate you. Now I just think everyone sucks. I'll never be.
There you go. There's the equilibrium again from Samson. I used to be this, used to be that, and now everybody sucks. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the divide. Everyone thinks they're right on that side. Everyone thinks they're right on that fucking side, and nobody knows what's right.
friends with you. Ugh, nah, fuck it, dog, I'm serious. How the fuck can you relate to somebody who cheers for this? Y'all are weird for this. I'm done salvaging relationships. I ain't picking up broken pieces off the ground and saving it. If you can't say that this is bad and just agree it's heinous, then I don't give a fuck if you unfollow me or hate this. It sucks. This shit has done massive amounts of damage, and you know, it's probably exactly how they planned it.
Yes, all come from the government who's there to divide the countries, the states, just for the simple reason that if they're fighting with each other, it's a Tom McDonald message that's been spread everywhere. This, if other sides are fighting each other, no one is fighting with the government, and that's how they did. That's just how they push these narratives to make lefts and rights, I suppose, always at loggerheads with each other, if you like. That was a very, very real message from Samson, and you know what? He didn't. When he finished this by saying, "I'm neither left nor I'm right," this pours out of this song because he didn't just trash one side or the other side. He did a lot of equals. He talked about both sides. He talked about what's wrong there, what's wrong there. He's even said, "I think everybody's fucked up," basically. So, you know, he's not saying that anyone is worse than any other side, but he is pointing out certain things that people have said and been hypocritical as well. You know, I could sit here and talk for hours on everything Samson just said, but, you know, I tried to do that in the reaction. But I tell you one thing, this is going to piss a lot of people off. But that's today's day and age. There's a lot of people get offended over a lot of shit, isn't there? And, you know, someone, to close this, someone should not be assassinated for speaking how they feel. You know what I mean? Or what they believe, as long as it's not racist or sexist, you know, that sort of thing. You know, as long as they believe what they believe is not actually harming anyone, no one has got the right to go and, you know what I mean? Can't talk too much about it because I know YouTube's sensitive about it. Anyway, what did you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out Samson's original video, and I'll see you all next time.